Hare Krishna, reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from second chapter, contents of the Gita summarized, verse number 62. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodho Bhijayate. While contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is not Krishna conscious is subjected to material desires while contemplating the object of the senses. The senses require real engagement, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. In the material world, everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, to say nothing of other demigods in the heavenly planets, is subjected to the influence of sense objects, and the only method to get out of this puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal, and as a result, Kartikeya was born. When Haridas Thakur was a young devotee of the Lord, he was similarly allured by the incarnation of Maya Devi, but Haridas easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. This is a beautiful example from the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas Thakur was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna and an ardent devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He used to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 lakh times a day, which is literally impossible for us to even attempt. Such was his great devotion. And to add to that, Haridas Thakur was born in a non-Hindu family, was born in a Muslim family, and yet he was such an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. So there is a beautiful pastime in his life where obviously the Muslims were not happy with Haridas Thakur because he was chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna. Therefore, one wealthy Muslim man decided to make him fall down from his devotional path. So he arranged for a prostitute to seduce Haridas Thakur. And this lady, her name was Hiradasi. She went to seduce Haridas Thakur, who was deeply in chanting the holy names of the Lord. But even after trying for 3 full days and nights, this lady was not able to make Haridas Thakur fall down from his devotional path. On the other hand, this lady herself got converted into a devotee. So such is the power of a devotee of Lord Krishna, as we can see from the pastime of Haridas Thakur. And here Prabhupada says that everybody in the material world, even great demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, even they are subjected to the sense objects. They are not immune. And here Prabhupada is telling about how Kartikeya was born when Shivji was agitated by Mother Parvati, and so even these great demigods are subjected to sense attacks. But a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is not affected by sense gratification or sense objects. So, as illustrated in the above mentioned verse of Sri Yamunacharya, a sincere devotee of the Lord shuns all material enjoyments due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret of success. One who is not therefore in Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail, for the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his desire. We said in the previous verse also that we are material in the material world. We are constantly attacked by Maya, and the doors through which Maya attacks us is our sense organs, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and so on. One can try to artificially control these sense organs through yogic methods, but these are not foolproof. At a moment of weakness, one is sure to succumb to these attacks. However, a devotee of the Lord is practically immune, as we see from the pastime of Haridas Thakur, how he, in spite of the best efforts of the dancing girl, the prostitute, he was not shaken from his path of devotional service. Now we move on to verse number 63. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. From anger complete delusion arises, and from delusion bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this direction in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.258. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastuna mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. By the development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects. And as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. Their so-called renunciation is called falgu, or less important. On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. For example, for an impersonalist, the Lord or the Absolute being impersonal cannot eat. Whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables, a devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. Thus everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non-devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist therefore cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation, and for this reason a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service. So here the example is given of eating. We've got these 5 Gyanendriya sense organs, and our tongue is a very powerful sense organ. Many people in fact live to eat, live to savor good dishes. So much is the attraction for tasty food. And so here Prabhupada has said the difference between a impersonalist and a personalist. A personalist, the devotee of the Lord Krishna, how he approaches this sense organ of the tongue. Impersonalist, or the one who believes in the Brahman, the formless form of the God Brahman, he avoids all good food because that is Maya. According to him, that will pull him down. But it is not a practical approach. How long can you avoid food stuff? Good food. In fact, you will be wasting your life. God has provided you with this human life. He has provided all the beautiful foodstuffs. Why do you want to avoid it? You can consume the foodstuff, but after you offer it to the God, that is where the devotee of the Lord wins. The devotee of the Lord enjoys this human form of life. He does not have to forgo. He does not have to reject anything. He can make beautiful, tasty foodstuffs, and then he can offer it to God. And when the God has partaken it, the remnants called prasadam is consumed by the devotee. And that sanctifies him, that purifies him. So there is no question of not enjoying the senses. You can enjoy your senses in Krishna consciousness, but first you offer it to Krishna. Isn't that a beautiful approach? So while the non-devotee or the impersonalist tries hard day and night to control his senses, he fails because senses are powerful, very powerful. Whereas a devotee of the Lord can easily control his senses because he knows that everything is for Krishna's enjoyment. So he makes everything for Krishna to enjoy. When Krishna has taken it, he takes it like a servant. Hope that it makes sense. Thank you for watching. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. See you next time. Till then, Hare Krishna.